We have a really fascinating stack of research to get through today, but before we get into the weeds, I want to start with something a bit visceral, something we all do.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The mirror. We all have a complicated relationship with it, right? You wake up, maybe you're groggy, you stumble into the bathroom, flip on those harsh lights, and you catch a glimpse. And for just a split second, there's this disconnect. You see a line that wasn't there last month, or texture to your skin that feels new. It's that universal uh-oh
Yeah,
moment.
where your internal age, how you feel inside, stops matching what you see.
Exactly.
Right.
We all feel, 25 inside? But today, we are going to take that universal experience and apply a massive multiplier to it. We're looking at a group where that mirror isn't just an annoyance, it's a genuine identity crisis.
And the source we're using for this is a really compelling piece by Gender Benson titled Aging as a Crossdresser: Fear of Being Too Old or Too Obvious.
That title really says it all.
It does. Because it takes this high-stakes identity work and crashes it right into the inevitable march of time. The article frames the mirror as this dual entity.
A friend and a critic.
The harshest critic. It's a tool you use to create your feminine identity, but it's also the one that shows you every single flaw in unforgiving detail.
And that's really the mission for this deep dive. We want to unpack what happens when the pressure of youth, which is, massive in this community, collides with the reality of getting older.
And the stakes are just completely different. To understand why, you really have to look at the cultural landscape first, or maybe the emptiness of it.
The void, as the author calls it.
Exactly. Just think about pop culture for a second. When you picture a man in a dress in the media, what do you see?
I mean, immediately. RuPaul. Drag Race. It's high glam, it's tons of energy, it's very loud. Or, on the flip side, it's comedy. It's Mrs. Doubtfire. A man in a dress is either a supermodel glamazon or he's the punchline.
Precisely. That is the societal lens. Representation is skewed almost 100% toward the young, the hyper-feminine, or the joke. There's almost zero space for a middle-aged or older man who embraces femininity quietly, seriously.
So if you're that man and you're, say, 55, you look at the culture and you just don't see yourself anywhere.
You're invisible. And that invisibility creates a narrative. It suggests that if you don't see it, it probably shouldn't exist. The source quotes one man who put it really bluntly: once you hit your 40s or 50s, the assumption is that you should stop.
It frames cross-dressing as a privilege of youth. Like, you have a permission slip when you're 22, but once you hit middle age, permission revoked.
And that external pressure, it morphs into internal doubt. It's not just, does society think I'm weird? It becomes, am I fooling myself? Is this still appropriate?
It's about legitimacy. And when you feel like an intruder in your own community because you've aged out, that's got to be so isolating.
Which brings us right to the core anxiety the author identifies, this fear of being too obvious.
Okay, so help me understand the nuance there. Is this just the fear of being clocked? Of someone knowing you're a man? Or is it something more?
It's deeper than just being identified as male. It's the fear of the illusion shattering. For many of these men, their self-esteem is so tightly wound around their ability to pass, or at least to blend in convincingly.
To create a feminine appearance that feels authentic to them.
Exactly. And aging threatens the very mechanics of that illusion. The article lists some of these physical betrayals, and they're really technical.
Right, I was struck by that. We all know about gray hair, sure, but it talked about skin elasticity in a way that sounded like a huge technical challenge.
It is. Think about makeup. A lot of cross-dressing involves contouring using light and shadow to reshape a masculine face. You're basically painting an optical illusion on your skin.
Darkening the jawline, highlighting the cheekbones, that kind of thing.
Right. But that illusion needs a smooth, taut canvas. When skin loses elasticity, it changes texture. It sags. You can't just apply the same heavy contour. The makeup sits in the creases. It draws attention to the aging, not away from it.
The magic trick stops working.
It does. And the hands, that was a detail that really stuck with me. Thicker hands.
I never think about my hands aging, but in this context, it makes total sense. They're a notorious giveaway.
You can wear a wig, you can use shapewear, you can use foundation, but hands,
Yeah.
if they get veinier or develop age spots, you can't really hide them without wearing gloves all the time.
Which would look strange in itself.
And for someone trying to project this delicate femininity, looking down and seeing large, aging male hands, it just breaks the spell.
So, okay, you're looking in the mirror, the makeup isn't sitting right, your hands look like your father's hands. What does that do to the actual experience of dressing up, this thing that was a source of joy?
It kills the joy. That's the tragedy. The source describes the experience shifting from a joyful practice to a meticulous performance.
You're not just throwing on a dress anymore. You are working.
The routine takes twice as long, it requires way more skill, and the margin for error is basically zero. It's exhausting. And because it's so stressful, people stop doing it.
Or they stop going out. The article talks about this social withdrawal.
Yeah, guys who might have gone to support groups or conventions, now they just stay home. They're afraid of the scrutiny. They're afraid of being the old guy in a dress that everyone stares at.
So they isolate themselves right when they probably need that community the most.
Exactly. They're judging themselves against a youthful ideal that they can literally never achieve again.
I want to zoom out from the face for a minute because aging isn't just skin deep. It changes the whole architecture of the body.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the article is very clear about this. We're talking about a decrease in muscle mass, postural changes, and, the redistribution of fat.
The dad bod phenomenon.
Right. But imagine trying to fit a dad bod into a wardrobe designed for an hourglass figure. It fundamentally changes the physics of the clothing.
The source mentions skirts and dresses draping differently. That feels like such a specific tactile frustration.
It's a betrayal. You have a favorite dress you've had for 10 years. To make you feel euphoric. Now you put it on, and it clings to your belly, or it hangs weirdly on your shoulders. The garment that used to affirm you now just highlights that you're an aging male.
And we have to talk about heels. I mean, heels are hard enough when you're 20.
Oh, absolutely. Walking in heels isn't just about your feet. It's a full-body athletic event. It needs core strength, balance, ankle stability. As we age, our center of gravity shifts. We lose some of that stability.
So the strut disappears.
The strut becomes a wobble, and that is just devastating for your confidence. If you can't move gracefully, you don't feel elegant, and if you don't feel elegant, the whole persona starts to crumble.
That creates such a painful conflict. The article calls it a battle between shame and desire.
That's the psychological turning point. Many have internalized this message that femininity equals youth and sexual appeal. So if your definition of being a woman is being a hot 20-something, then aging is, by definition, a failure.
Yeah.
It triggers shame.
But, and this is why I love this piece, the author doesn't leave us there in that despair. Benson offers a pivot, a way to flip the script.
This is the most crucial part. She suggests that while youth offers an external illusion, age offers something arguably better.
Internal authenticity. Okay, break that down for me. How does that practically help someone staring at that mirror?
It's a value shift. You stop trying to look like a model and you start trying to feel like yourself. You stop asking, do I pass? And you start asking, do I feel elegant? Do I feel present?
So you're shifting the focus from the audience, what do they see, to the self, what do I feel?
And you're leaning into resilience. The author points out something really encouraging. Older crossdressers are tough. They've lived.
Yeah.
They've been through career changes, family issues, health scares. That life experience provides a buffer. When you're 20, a weird look from a stranger can ruin your whole month. When you're 60.
You've seen worse. You just have fewer damns to give.
Exactly. And that resilience allows you to stop performing for others and start dressing for yourself.
Okay, so the mindset shift is authenticity over passing. That makes sense philosophically. But the article also gives some really practical advice on how to do this.
Right, because you can't just think your way into a better outfit. It starts with a wardrobe overhaul. And this is hard. It means retiring things you love.
That's got to be emotional. Admitting that the bodycon dress from 2005 just isn't working anymore.
It is. It's a mourning process. But the article suggests replacing those things with new silhouettes that work with the aging body. Think wraps, tailored blouses, high-waisted skirts.
Why high-waisted specifically?
It's an engineering trick. A high-waisted skirt creates a waistline where there might not be one anymore. And wraps are forgiving. They create drapes and lines that imply a shape without needing the body to be perfect underneath.
It's moving toward a style that says sophisticated woman rather than club kid.
Exactly. It's looking at women your own age, women like Helen Mirren, and seeing how they dress. They aren't trying to look 20, they're owning their elegance.
And the beauty routines shift too. It sounds like skincare takes the front seat.
The source is very specific. Skincare becomes the foundation. When you're young, you can slap makeup on anything. As you age, the canvas matters. The makeup becomes lighter, less about masking, and more about enhancing.
And wigs. The article really emphasizes them as a major tool for confidence.
Huge. Hair thinning is a very male aging sign. A high-quality wig doesn't just cover a bald spot. It frames the face. It's an instant restorer of vitality.
What about the physical movement? If heels are getting dangerous, what's the alternative?
Well, you can wear elegant flats, of course. But the source actually recommends training. Not just hitting the gym, but specific movement training.
Like what?
Yoga, Pilates, dance. It's about maintaining posture and core strength. If you stand tall, with your shoulders back, you project elegance regardless of wrinkles. It restores that grace people feel they've lost.
I like that. It's proactive. It's not surrendering to age. It's adapting to it.
And speaking of taking control, the article mentions celebrating small milestones. This is about reclaiming the joy.
Right, shifting from perfection to self-expression. What does that look like?
It could be a private photo shoot where you control the lighting just for you. Or maybe it's just a quiet dinner at home, fully dressed, listening to music you love. These aren't failures because no one saw you. They're successes because you honored that side of yourself.
That connects back to the isolation piece. Doing this alone seems safer, but the article argues that community is the actual antidote.
It is. Isolation is an echo chamber. If you're alone, your inner critic is going to scream, yes, you're too old. But if you go to an online forum and see other guys your age,
You realize you aren't the only one trying to figure out eyeliner on hooded eyelids.
exactly, you get validation, you see a path forward. And the source points out something really beautiful. The older members become mentors.
The elders of the community, I love that.
It gives a new purpose to the practice. You're just dressing to look hot. You're showing the younger generation that this identity doesn't have an expiration date.
So if we pull all this together, the wardrobe, the mindset, it's a complete redefinition of what success even means for a crossdresser.
That is the big takeaway.
Yeah.
In the past, success was about passing, blending, sexual allure. Those are losing games as you age. The house always wins that one.
So what are the new metrics? How do you know you're winning?
Comfort, personal fulfillment, feeling genuine. The article calls it a continuum.
A continuum. I like that word. It implies it's not a cliff you fall off of.
No, it's a journey where your technique gets refined and your self-knowledge deepens. Success is looking in that mirror we started with and seeing yourself honestly expressed, regardless of the wrinkles.
It's moving the goalposts from something impossible, which is eternal youth, to something achievable, authenticity.
And that's where the liberation happens. Once you let go of the need to be 25, you're free to be a fabulous, interesting, complex 65.
It seems like the journey Gender Benson describes is really about making peace with that reflection, realizing that the body changes, the clothes change, but the capacity for joy, that doesn't age.
If anything, it gets deeper, because it's coming from the soul now, not from surface-level tricks. It's a quiet confidence that says, this is who I am.
That's a powerful place to land, and it reminds us that authenticity is, in itself, a form of beauty.
Absolutely. Authenticity resonates.